Hey everybody, welcome back to another episode. So today I am going to start with getting the hood and the trunk lid, the undersides of them, all painted black, and then also putting some clear coat on them. So that's what we're going to be doing. And then from there, I'm not sure. We will just have to wait and see. You'll probably get a spoiler in the title. But anyway, let's get busy. Okay, so something that I actually learned when you're applying paint versus epoxy primer, you actually got to slow your pace down. It's shooting out, but it's not as thick, so it doesn't go on so good. So I didn't figure that out until actually the last coat of clear. So I did 3 coats, I only recorded 1, but the last coat of clear, man, I slowed it down a lot and it laid on really nice. So yeah, that's something to keep into consideration, that there's speeds that you got to go, and when you're doing paint you just got to slow it down a little bit versus epoxy primer. So learning curve, good to know. So hopefully by the time that I start getting to the body, I'll have some of this stuff mastered, or at least looking halfway decent. So let's continue. All right, so this is pretty exciting. My new gas tank came in a couple weeks ago. In this gas tank, I actually opted to go with the in-tank fuel pump. So it's got a supply and return on it, and also a vent, which is just in temporarily. I have to get that hooked up. And then it's also got a new fuel setting in it. So it's a 0 to 90 ohm, which these cars use, in which I have set up on my gauges. So yeah, we're gonna get that going, get it installed. Is what I did is I put the front of the car on jack stands, and then I raised up the back of the car and put them on these blocks here, just so I have access and I can drop that old tank. Is what I'm gonna do actually, is I'm going to disconnect. You've probably seen this a couple times in my videos here, but I have the, right back here, I got the return just going straight into the gas tank. And the reason for that is because I was getting too high a fuel pressure, and that's actually the whole reason I have this fuel tank here, is because of that high fuel pressure. When I was using the original vent line, return line right here to go back, it's too small and it restricts that fuel and you get way too high of fuel pressure. So I didn't want that. So that's kind of where we're at. And then also, this has a baffle inside of it, this tank. So that's gonna help a lot, especially with acceleration and everything. So I won't be starving for gas at any time. So yeah, pretty exciting. Let's get going on this. I'm really hoping that this tank over here is the same size as the one that's in the car. I believe this is a 21 gallon and the one that's in there is a 16 gallon. So we'll see how it fits up. And actually, I should mention, this is actually a Tanks Inc. gas tank. Let me find the logo. Yeah, there's the manufacturer of this gas tank. So it's pretty slick. It comes as a whole kit, has everything that you need. Comes with a filler neck, comes with everything pretty much except for the, the little gas cap itself. So let's get going. So the first thing that I need to do here is I need to empty the fuel out of the gas tank. The best way to do it, and I was explaining this earlier and then I got sidetracked, is I'm taking this return line out. It's got gas in it, I gotta let it drain. But I'm gonna take it out and I'm gonna put it in this 5-gallon gas jug over here. Like so. Then I go ahead and start the car. And I'm just gonna monitor it. And then once that fills up, I'll turn it off. And then I'll get another gas jug and yeah, just keep going on it. So let's get a cold start. There this goes. And I'll be back once this is full. Okay, so now I got the fuel out of the car and I got my fuel hoses here, my supply and return, and I got AN fittings on the ends of them, as you can see. And then they're going to be getting plumbed into these here. As you can see, that's got R for return and S for supply, so we know where the hoses go. So I'm going to put this in. I'm going to get this tightened down, and then I'm going to go ahead and put the I'm going to go ahead and get the AN fittings hooked up, and I will be right back. Okay, I got those all hooked up and plugged in. I got my supply in and my return in. And then I'm gonna go into the car and drop the old fuel tank down. You've seen me do it before, so I'm probably not gonna record it, but I will be back after it's down. All right, so I got these lines all hooked up here. This is for the ground for the sending unit, and then also I got this, I spliced into the factory sending unit that goes back to the gauge cluster. So I just gotta heat shrink that, and then I'm gonna be putting some heat shrink connectors onto these, and then running power cords up to the existing plug for the fuel pump. So let me get that in and going. Okay, I got these all in, spliced and heat shrinked, ready to go. This one too. So now I just have to take this tank here and pick up my tools, take the tank, get it mounted in the back, and then I just got to route the lines. It's pretty easy, so I will be back once I'm done with all that, and then we'll put some gas in it. I'll get some gas in it, and then we'll fire it up and see what the pressure's at. Alrighty, so I finally have the gas tank in, and let me give you a peek on what it all looks like here. There we go. So I was watching another channel, and he was having issues with his straps not fitting. These are actually the factory straps. I didn't order custom ones that came with the tank. But I got to thinking, maybe if you're having issues, Eric, on your gas tank, and you'll probably have it solved most likely before this comes out, but try to push a gas tank forward and then put those straps in. But anyway, it's looking good, except for I have a little leak right here. I don't know where that's coming from. I gotta figure out where that is. So give me a minute here, I'll be back. Okay, so I went ahead and dropped the fuel tank down again, and I found the leak. It is coming from this fitting right here. So is what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna be taking this fitting off here and putting some Teflon tape around it that goes into the metal part, and then putting it back together and then testing it while it's down and seeing if it leaks. So let's get to that. I'll be back after I get the Teflon tape on here. Okay, so now I'm gonna check and see if we're leaking fuel again. So I gotta turn the key on here. Doesn't look like there's any new leaks, so I'm gonna go ahead and cycle the key a couple times and double check it. Okay, so we are back and I have everything installed and hooked up. I got the fuel lines ran. There's my return line there. Here's my supply line right here, and it's running with the power lines for the fuel pump. As you can see, the gas tank installed well. No issues or hiccups. The only thing I gotta do is finish tightening up these bolts here. And then once I get those tightened on both sides, it will be done, but everything is good to go. I have these old lines just kind of hanging here because I'm not going to be really using them. That is the return line. But yeah, so that's where we are. This is what it looks like. Looks pretty slick. So far, no leaks, so I'm pretty happy. And yeah, let's keep moving on. All right, so now that everything is installed, I need to check the fuel pressure, which is right there. It's red. So let me turn the key on, see where it pumps to, connect to the ECU, 54.2. Look at that, right where it should be. We're setting about 50 PSI. I can always turn that up a little bit, but I'm gonna let the car go ahead and get warmed up. And then after it's warmed up and we're done checking for leaks, then I'll check the fuel pressure and then adjust it up to 53 PSI. Gonna come back here, see if we're leaking. Those are old stains from previously. So far, no leaks. So we are good. So I'm gonna let it run for a few minutes here and then I'll double check the leaks. But after that, I'm pretty much done with this project of the fuel tank. And I can check that off the list. Okay, so I finally got the door on here, and there's a little trick that I can show you guys that I learned. When you're doing the door hinges, put paint sticks in. That's going to simulate like your 3/16 inch gap or whatever, or however big you need it. But you use paint sticks, and that's going to keep it. And then when I open the door here, I taped a couple paint sticks down here as well, so that the door will sit on these. And they'll get you the gap on the bottom of the door. That's just a little trick that I learned. I saw it on YouTube actually a long time ago on how to adjust doors, but that's pretty much how you do it. And then for I gotta adjust the striker, but for back here, for like this body line here, and the striker and everything, you can adjust that with that's pretty easy to adjust. You just move the striker left or right to get this to line up just fine. And then once the quarter panel's on, you adjust these here, and you can, these 3 bolts that are here, and then you can move the door in and out, up and down. So yeah, that's just kind of how you adjust the door. It's a lot of back and forth. This is pretty tight. I think it's rubbing actually on the damage. So I'm going to check out why it's not closing. Or it could be that the hinges that I put on, they they aren't set correctly either. So let me play around with it and I'll be right back. Okay, so we have the door on. It opens smoothly. Let me find the handle here. Opens good, closes good. Perfect. But now if you look here, let's go this way. The door is pretty much flush. I gotta move the striker over just a hair more to get this in. But now, with this, that body line, you can see how dented all this is. So all this has to be pulled out. So my brother thinks that we'll be able to fix it with some pullers that he's got and some body hammers and stuff. So, because it's not rusted, it has been worked on and fixed. So it is a little bit hardened, but hopefully we can get that pulled out for the most part. And then if not, then that's when we will go ahead and put that patch on. But I'm really hoping that these body panels and everything, that we don't have to screw around with it too much. You can tell there's a little dent right here. That's okay, that's small. We use some body filler to get that done. My biggest concern, I'm hoping that this will work here with his dent pullers and stuff that he's got, is right here. There's this big dent here and that big dent right here. So these kind of got to be fixed. So if we get those popped out a little bit, then I get some body filler on them. And then also right here, there's a teeny little hole here that I have to weld shut. And another little hole here that I'll probably weld shut as well. So that's kind of where we're at. But overall, I'm pretty happy. This is coming along pretty well. So I'm gonna put the other door on over there, and then we'll continue to get the body panels on. We'll see what this bad boy looks like and just primer. So let me get going. Alrighty, so I know that I still have a ton more to do on this thing, but this is what she's looking like, all primered in one color. You'll see the splotchiness. That's because of the that's just because of the Bondo or body filler that I put on there. But she is all together, looking pretty good. I don't have the trunk on yet, which I need to put on still. And then yeah, here's what she's looking like. Not looking too bad. I still got to put the front bumper on, and then also like the bezels and everything, and then the I can't remember, my brain's fried right now, but the little piece in there, whatever it's called. But yeah, this is what she's looking like. I know that this body line isn't very good, or the gap between the door here, I still got to adjust that. So I think when my brother gets here, I'm going to have him help me with it. It's really hard to do that on my own. So it's just a lot of moving around. But on this side, actually, I got this side pretty good. It's not perfect, but the door's got to come back. Well, maybe not. I don't know. Maybe the fender's got to come back. I don't know. we just got to screw around with it some more, but there we are. This is what it's looking like. Now that I have this thing out in the sun, I'm actually starting to find a bunch of dents and dings and damage that I got to fill. So right in here, there's a few dents in there. There's another dent right there. And then along the door, I got to get this sanded down a little bit better. There's a couple little holes, like right in here, little scratch marks. Got to get that taken care of. So my plan is to pretty much just do one panel at a time. I'm gonna start probably on one fender, get it perfect, and then if I have to add some that slick sand or feather fill or whatever you want to call it, I will. And then yeah, that's kind of where we're at, kind of where we're going. So, but this is where she is. This is what it's looking like. It's looking pretty good. So, oh, it looked like my tire was flat. When I pulled out, there were some screws in the way, so I thought I picked one up. But anyway, there we are. So, alrighty, well, that's gonna be a wrap for today's video. I got a lot done. I'm really happy with everything that I did. It looks good. I can't complain. So, thanks a lot for watching. I really appreciate it. If you could hit the subscribe button, that'd be great. Hit the like, hit the follow, and then hit the little bell notification so you get more notifications of my videos coming out. So thanks for watching. We'll see y'all next time.